So let's talk about restoring antique furniture for a second, because I know there's going to be a few people out there who think as soon as I touch this with sandpaper, I destroy all the value and authenticity, blah, blah, blah of this. I don't care. I care about furniture pieces being usable, functional, and look nice. So the fact that I'm going to make this look better doesn't matter to me. Also, it was only 35 bucks. It's not like this is $1,000 antique rocking chair with that George Washington or something sweat in, and so his sweat is still on it, and that makes it worth more money for some reason. That's none of that. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna clean it up, probably with some Dawn and vinegar and water. That's a really good cleaning agent. Kind of get the schmut off of here, and then decide if it just needs a coat of oil or if I want to sand it down and then do a coat of oil on it. So I pretty quickly decided that sanding off that stuff was just going to be the better way to do it and get that off and clean it up. I might actually leave it raw wood. I think it would look nice where it's going to go for it to be a little bit lighter actually rather than darker. But we'll see once I'm done sanding it down. I'm now using my Mirka with a little foam pad to make it a little bit more squishier and working around the grits. I now have most of the old finish off. It's still there in a few places. I'm going to get a sanding sponge and finish it up. And that probably took about 30 minutes to knock it off. I do have some rot here at the bottom that I'm going to clean out really well, and then I'm going to put some Bondo in there on just the bottom to fill that in, and then reshape that. And then I do think I am going to stain it, because I think that will even out some of the blotchiness that I'm just not able to get out with the sander. But I'm going to use like a really lighter brown color, because I think that will look nice. I've got some Bondo, and I need to open the Bondo. I've got a couple of shims here. I'll use that as kind of my spatula. And I'm going to scoop a little dollop of Daisy out. That is probably 10 times more than I need. And I'm going to try to get it all back in here and get my lid back on here really good so it doesn't go bad. Okay, now I'm going to put some cream on here. It says warning, 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 contains... I wish it would just tell you right off the bat about how much to use instead of all the warnings. Yeah, apparently there's 0 instructions on here, but all types of warnings. So if I remember right, I'm supposed to put just a little bit of Bondo, just a little bit of hardener on, about like that. I think that's about enough. I don't know. Judging by the size of the tube and the size of the can, that looks about enough. It doesn't tell me. Thanks, instructions, but thanks for all the warnings. Alright, so I'm going to mix this up really good. Spatula broke. So my spatula's broke. But I'm just going to start squeegeing it into this guy right there. Filling on all those cracks. And I don't know if this is just water damage. This might be some termite damage on this, but that's fine. Fill in all those grooves. This side's got a little bit, and just because we want this to rock smoothly, I'll go ahead and fill those in too. I'm going to leave it on thick because I can sand and shape this after it's dry, but I am going to at least try to get it consistently smooth so there's not a lot I have to do. So now that my Bondo's drying and I've power sanded this about as much as I can, I started with 120, then went over it with 180, and now I'm going to take what's my very fine, about a 220 sanding sponge, and I'm going to go over the whole thing one good time, and then it's going to be ready for us to stain as soon as that Bondo is dry. And this time I'm just making sure I go with the grain. Whenever I was power sanding, I wasn't too worried about it because I knew I was going to come back with this sanding and do that. But even between here, I can't really do that super well, but I can use this edge and get those hard to reach areas. At first I thought this might have been oak, but now I'm thinking it's ash. Tends to be a traditional thing to make chairs out of, and ash sort of looks like oak to me. The grain's obviously different, but it's not red oak, and it's too light to be white oak. So I'm gonna think this is ash, and I've got it pretty well sanded. I'm tempted to do just an oil finish on top of this, but because of these hard to sand areas, I think it's definitely gonna look better with a stain on it. So I'm gonna find a stain that I want to use. I think I'm going to use either Minwax Provincial or have some Old Masters Dark Walnut. Those are really similar colors, and I think that would look good without making this too dark. I don't want to go really, really, really dark. I want the grain to come through, so I think a lighter stain will look nice on this. This is what it looks like after our Bondo. I sanded it down. It's nice and smooth now, so it's going to rock nice and easy. That's not completely smooth, but it's smooth enough. I am going to put stain on it, hopefully darken that up so it's not so visible. I experimented with some stain colors here on the bottom where it wouldn't be seen. This was Minwax Provincial. In my opinion, it was just going to be too dark. This was Old Masters Natural Walnut. It's okay, a little bit more yellow than the space it's going to go in. This is Special Walnut. It has a little bit of red to it, and I think that's going to look the best. I started second guessing my color choice. This is what I originally thought was this Old Masters Special Walnut, which is just, on second look, it's too red. So I went ahead and tried a couple more stain colors. This was Minwax Early American, which is close, but it's just too yellow. But I think this Minwax English Chestnut works really good. So I'm going to sand off what I stained here on this inside where it wasn't super visible, but I'm going to sand that off, and we're just going to do English Chestnut and hope for the best. And here is the stained chair. I'm going to put a coat of, I think, Danish oil on it just to give it a little bit more protection and seal in that color so it doesn't come off on anything. But you can see I intentionally didn't try to make this brand new. I just refreshed it, got kind of the green that was off of here. It had just seemed like 2 or 3 different colors on it. But this is a nice even color. It's a little bit more red than I wanted, but I think it's going to go really well in the space that it's in. And it took a couple hours to refinish it. So it's been a really long time since I've just refinished a piece of furniture. When I first got into woodworking, I tried flipping furniture. There's not really money in that. If you factor in the labor of what this cost for a $35 chair, I'd have to charge somewhere about $200 plus in labor to make back my money. So that would be a $250 chair after I'm done with it. Maybe there's money in that, but not really. So I don't do this professionally, but I do find it very fun. I really enjoy it. So refinishing furniture or fixing old antiques that you can find off of Facebook Marketplace or wherever you buy garage sale finds or whatever is a great way to improve your woodworking skills. refinishing, repairs, seeing how these pieces went together and seeing, okay, this is why it lasted 80 plus years. Oh, this is why it failed. So then when you start designing and building your own furniture, you have that kind of catalog in the back of your brain to help you make better furniture. So this was a fun little project. I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm still going to put a coat of, I think, just Danish oil on it, like Watco Danish oil on it, just to finish it off. Give it a little bit of protection and kind of keep that little sheen that it's got going on it. So because I think that looks really nice and it will feel really good on the hand. So thanks for following along. Refinishing is not that hard. It's just a lot of labor. Sanding, more sanding, and a little bit of staining. So thanks for watching, and like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.